Hi there, I'm Richard Morris and welcome to your meal preparation video. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to prepare all these beautiful meals for the week. Now remember, there's three parts of this equation. Number one, shopping. We've already gone shopping. Now if you haven't watched the shopping video, go back and watch it first. You gotta make sure you get that out of the way before you learn how to meal prep. All right, so the second part of that equation is the preparation part. Today we're gonna be going over all of this with you. Now after we have all of our meals prepared, we're going to store these meals. Now that's the third and final step of this equation to ensure ultimate success. Remember, when you went shopping, you bought 35 servings of protein for the week. That's 5 servings a day, 7 days a week. And what's the serving size of a protein? You got it, the palm of your hand. Now for women, that's about 4 ounces, and for men, it's about 6. And over here, we have all of our carbohydrates for the week. Remember, you purchased 23 servings of carbohydrates. You're doing 3 days of low carb and 4 days of high carb. Remember, you're on the easy cycle this week. Now with our carbohydrates, you purchased 7 servings of fruit, a serving for every morning, and then 16 other servings. Now what's a serving of a carbohydrate? Your fist. And over here, we have all of your vegetables for the week. There's fresh veggies and there's frozen veggies. You can use a mixture of both. Now what's the serving of a vegetable? 2 fistfuls. 3 servings a day, 7 days a week, for a total of 21 servings of veggies for the entire week. Now over here, we have our 12 servings of fat. Remember that a serving of fat is about the size of your thumb. So if it's nuts, you can put about 10 nuts inside your thumb. If it's an oil or a dressing, you're about a tablespoon. And over here, we have all of your dressings, your seasonings, your flavorings. We're going to talk a lot more about these later as we're preparing your meals. Okay, there are 2 variations of the meal preparation. Part 1 here, we're going to be doing the main bulk preparation. Now, many of these items you can cook for the entire week. For example, your proteins and a lot of your carbohydrates, your rices, your quinoa. These foods can be prepared for the entire week. So we're going to be doing all of this in the main bulk preparation portion of the meal prep today. Now the second part of the meal preparation is the maintenance meal preparation. This will be done 4 days later. Now for storage, we need 2 large bins, 4 medium size, and 6 small. Some additional beneficial storage items are some gallon-size Ziploc bags. In addition to this, we need somewhere to actually store these items when we're on the go. So we suggest getting an insulated cooler. Okay, now as far as preparing for the preparation, we do need to make sure that in addition to our groceries and our storage items, we have all of our items to cook our foods. So here we have a grill. This is a simple tabletop George Foreman style grill that you can grill all of your meats on. Over here we have a pan, and this is for browning. So we have our browning and our grilling options. If you refer to your patient packet under the meal preparation section, you will notice that there's also baking. Today we're going to be focusing solely on grilling and browning our meats. We need to have 2 pots. Now one pot is for your grains and the other pot is for your vegetables. Now remember that when you're doing your vegetables, it's very helpful to have a steamer basket. This helps your vegetables to retain their nutritional value. Now we also have things like our kitchen scales, our measuring cups, and we have our strainers. We'll talk more about these a little bit later on. You can also get a meat temperature gauge to ensure that your meats are cooked thoroughly. Okay, it's time to start digging into actually preparing these meals. When preparing, we want to start with our grains first. The reason being is this is the most time-consuming part of the preparation process. So we're going to start with our brown rice. So we're cooking 2 cups of brown rice. Now, for most grains, it's 1 part grain, 2 parts water. Now make sure you get a pot big enough for cooking these grains. They more than double in size. Now when cooking with brown rice and most grains, bring it to a boil. Once it boils, turn it down to a low simmer, stir it, put a lid on it, and let it cook. Okay, now on to our next grain. We're going to use quinoa. We suggest quinoa as part of your weekly shopping experience and meal prepping. Quinoa is a super grain loaded with protein and fiber. Yeah, make sure when you're washing this quinoa, you wash it thoroughly. Rinse it good. It has a bitter film on it, and it increases the quality of the flavor when you wash it thoroughly. Okay, just got the quinoa on. Our brown rice is boiling, so now we're going to turn it down to a simmer for about 45 minutes. We're about ready to start cooking our proteins. Our quinoa just started boiling, so we're going to turn that down to a medium-low for 15 minutes. Now it's time to start cooking our proteins. There's 35 servings of protein for the entire week. 5 servings a day, 7 days a week. So if there's 2 servings each day from lean meats, that's a total of 14 servings of lean meat. Now if you're female, that's 3.5 pounds for the week. Males, that adds up to be 5.25 pounds for the week. Now today we're going to be grilling 2.5 pounds of chicken and 1 pound of turkey. If you're a male, just add a little extra chicken and a little extra turkey to that mix. Now for our 2.5 pounds of chicken, there's more than double that here in this container. The chicken was on sale, so we went ahead and bought double the amount. Now before throwing your chicken on the grill, we want to make sure we trim off that fat. You can use a cutting knife, or we have these cutting shears. These make it a lot quicker. Okay, my chicken's all trimmed up, so now I'm ready to go grill. Okay, when grilling our chicken, remember we want to use the grapeseed oil for our cooking. Anytime a food smokes while it's cooking, it will destroy most oils, including olive oil, so we always want to stick to grapeseed oil when cooking our meats. We'll just give the pan a light coat on both sides, and we'll throw our chicken on. And the chicken will cook for about 12 minutes. Just close the lid and let it do its magic. So remember, we still have our leftover chicken. Now what we're going to do with these remaining 4 breasts, or about 4 pounds, is we're going to take them and freeze them for next week meal prep. That way, I don't have to buy chicken. We got this chicken on sale for under $2 per pound. So that's why we bought it in bulk. Now we're going to cook our 1 pound of ground turkey. Remember, when you're buying ground turkey, you get the extra lean ground turkey. If you get the 90% lean, you're still going to notice it has more than 50% fat. So all we'll do is grab ourselves a frying pan, give it a coat with our grapeseed oil, and we'll throw our 1 pound of turkey right in there. After our pound of turkey is in here, we're going to go ahead and throw it on the stove on medium-high for about 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. We're about to prepare all of our vegetables. The chicken's just about to go off, so let's go over there and see if it's done. Now for chicken breast and any poultry, we want to make sure that it's at 165 degrees. Now when inserting the thermometer, you're going to pick the thickest part of the chicken and you're going to insert about 2 inches. And that one looks like it's good to go. Okay, we just got our chicken all wrapped up here, and now our turkey is just finishing up, so let's grab that. Just make sure it's done by ensuring there is no pink left in the turkey. You now have all your proteins prepared for your next 7 lunches and dinners. All right guys, our grains are just finishing up. Let's grab that quinoa and that brown rice off the stove and dish it up. Now this is where we need 2 medium-sized storage containers. Remember, you have 4 medium-sized storage containers. We're going to be using 2 of them right now. So let's go ahead and take that quinoa and brown rice off the stove and start loading them up. This is 2 cups of dried rice. It expands to more than twice its size. And with the quinoa, this is just 1 cup of dried quinoa. So you can see how it expands. Now when we're measuring out our foods, we do it in the cooked form. So if you're going to be eating a cup of brown rice, remember it's the cooked brown rice. Now we're just going to go ahead and set these aside while we're making the rest of our meals. We've now wrapped up with the first part of this video, the main bulk prep. We got all your grains, all your proteins ready for the entire week. Now we're moving on to part 2. This is the maintenance prep. Now as part of the maintenance prep, we'll be doing our vegetables. Vegetables only last for about 4 days after steamed or cooked. Now before steaming your vegetables, go ahead and put water in the bottom inch of the pot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up 4 days worth of broccoli. You can just break off the remaining pieces of broccoli. Yeah, now remember with broccoli, it is loaded with calcium, vitamin C. You also got a good amount of folate and folic acid in here. Lots of B vitamins. In fact, there's more calcium in a cup of broccoli than there is in a cup of milk. Now when steaming broccoli and most any other vegetable, do it on high for about 10 minutes. Just make sure it's covered. As part of our maintenance prep for the next 4 days, we're also going to saute any vegetables we'd like to use. Right here, I have a frozen bag of chopped green peppers and onions. Now we'll go ahead and throw them in this saute pan, but before doing so, let's give it a coat of our grapeseed oil. After these are in the pan and ready to go, we'll go ahead and stick them on the stove for about 10 minutes on medium-high. Now the final form of preparation is quick prep. These are foods that are cooked the day of or right before you eat them. This includes your fresh produce such as your dark leafy greens, your tomatoes, even your microwave foods like your corn and your peas. This also includes all of your snacks and breakfast. Now my broccoli is about finished and I gotta give my peppers and onions a quick stir. We asked you to get 2 large storage bins. Your broccoli or large amount of steamed vegetables is perfect for one of those large bins. And now as part of your maintenance preparation, this is a great time to put together some sweet potatoes. Now when we're doing a potato, it can be done as part of maintenance prep, done about 3 to 4 days in advance, or done in the moment. They're microwavable and can be done in about 3 to 5 minutes depending on the size of the potato. Right here I have a pretty good serving size for a potato and I can microwave this in about 3.5 minutes. Another great carbohydrate item to have as part of your maintenance prep are black beans. Now when buying black beans, look for the sodium content. Right here, for example, it does not say anything about sodium on the front. This has almost 400 milligrams per half a cup serving. We suggest if you're not buying a low sodium version of black bean that you rinse them before eating. Now here you'll find a no salt added black bean. No need to rinse this one. This has only 10 milligrams of sodium in a half a cup serving. Now let's say today that I'm having lettuce wraps. The morning of, I would prepare it with collard greens. Now we love collard greens over iceberg lettuce and even romaine. The collard greens have a really big leaf and they have more nutritional value. So when preparing your collard green, all you need to do is take this vein out of the middle of the collard green. You do so by laying it flat on its back, taking a sharp knife and just slowly stripping that top layer of the green. All of our proteins, carbs, fats, and vegetables are prepared and ready to assemble. This is the fun part. So what I'm going to do now is prepare the meals for the next 2 days. This is why I asked you to get 6 small containers. You'll use 3 for day 1 and 3 for day 2. Then we'll go ahead and wash them out and repeat the same cycle every 2 days. So here we have a good amount of chicken and turkey. We also have our kitchen scalp. So I have pre-measured 4 ounces of ground turkey. Now if you're wondering what 4 ounces looks like, it's right there. We're going to take each of these and prepare our meals. So of our 2 days, we're going to have 1 low carb day, 1 high carb day. So we're going to start with our low carb meals. Now breakfast you're going to be making at home. One of these is for one of your snacks, one's for your lunch, and one is for your dinner. Let's get your first low carb day totally prepared. It's our first low carb day of the week, and for breakfast, let's just say I want to have a breakfast taco. For this, I'm going to use a couple eggs along with a corn tortilla and load it up with veggies. For our first snack of the day, what I'd like to have is a protein shake. With our protein shake, we just want to use any low carbohydrate protein powder, chocolate or vanilla. Just keep the carbs under 5. In addition to your protein shake, you need to have almond milk, a shaker, and sunflower seed butter or almond butter. So what we're going to do is just put about 8 to 10 ounces of almond milk inside your shaker. Right after that, add your 1 scoop of protein powder, then you need a tablespoon of either almond or sunflower seed butter. And your first snack is ready to rock and roll in under 5 minutes. Before moving on, I want to talk to you about an awesome tool that we have available for all of our patients. It's called Macro Mix and Match. What I mean when I say Macro Mix and Match, if you refer to your sample meal plan, you'll notice all of your macronutrients listed out. Now, if you don't like one of those macronutrients, say you're having a lettuce wrap and you don't want to have the turkey, you can simply replace the corresponding macronutrient from your healthy options list with that macronutrient. Make sure that the proteins line up with the proteins, the carbs with the carbs, and the fats with the fats.
Now it's time to move on to lunch. You'll see here in front of me, I've already prepared my lunch. What I've done is taken 4 ounces of turkey, put it in there, added my 1 full serving, 2 fistfuls of broccoli, I added a little bit of Mrs. Dash, and a little bit of lemon. I also added an avocado for a healthy fat. Now with the avocado, don't burn that quite yet. Wait till you're actually ready to eat the meal. And remember, with the avocado, what's the serving size? A thumb. So that's about 1/4 of the avocado. You'll put a quarter of it here in this meal, and then we'll use the rest of it later on. Okay, we have our first 3 meals already knocked out. Next, we're going to put together our second snack of the day. Now, for this snack, I'm choosing cottage cheese on the border. For cottage cheese on the border, we're going to put together 1 cup of cottage cheese. We're using 2%. Now, cottage cheese is an awesome source of protein. We just gotta be careful with all the sodium in there. So you can find low sodium cottage cheese. And the low sodium cottage cheese is just fine because we're actually adding sodium to this dish with our 3 tablespoons of salsa. Now with salsa, it does have quite a bit of extra salt, so make sure you get a lower sodium salsa. We're going to add some diced tomatoes to this meal, and we are all set with that second snack of the day. Now remember, for this snack, we do need to add a little extra fat in there so we can use that other thumb of avocado. Now for my final meal of the day, I'm gonna have some lettuce wraps. I love collard greens, so let's go ahead and throw our protein. Earlier, I talked about macro mix and match. I'm gonna use that here and replace the turkey with the chicken, just because I'm in the mood for chicken. There should be enough chicken for 2 lettuce wraps. Now, in addition to our protein in there, we can throw the rest of our avocado from the day in our wraps. And don't forget about those sauteed vegetables. Go ahead and toss them in there. And for my seasoning, I'm gonna use low sodium soy sauce. You don't need more than a half a teaspoon per wrap. So these are looking awesome, ready to go. Remember, I've got my avocado in there. You can dice up the remaining amount of your tomato that you had left over from your cottage cheese on the border. And you can even throw extra vegetables. Let's say you want to throw a little bit of extra veggies in there. You are at total liberty to use as many veggies as you want. Remember, 2 fistfuls 3 times a day. So these lettuce wraps are ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna wrap them up, put them in my container, and place them in the fridge for later tonight, so when I get home, I can dig right in and I'm not gonna be tempted by something not on my meal plan. Okay, day 1, low carb, is all taken care of. The only carbohydrate I had for the entire day was my 2 corn tortillas with my breakfast tacos. And for my first snack, my protein shake. For my lunch, I had my ground turkey with avocado, broccoli, some Mrs. Dash, and lemon. And for my second snack of the day, I had cottage cheese on the border with salsa, chopped up tomatoes, and avocado. And then for dinner, I'll come home to some delicious lettuce wraps. When you're having these low-carb meals, it is absolutely crucial to have a healthy fat with every one of these meals. You saw me use that avocado, and that will save you when it comes to low-carb day.
Now on to our high-carb day. For breakfast, I'm choosing to have a yogurt berry mix. Now this one's really quick. If you're in a hurry in the morning, this takes no more than about 2 minutes to put together. With this, we have about a cup of our 2% plain Greek yogurt. Then we have a cup of our frozen blueberries. All right, so there we have our blueberries, our Greek yogurt. It's breakfast. What's missing? Hopefully you got it. Your serving of fat. Right here I have 10 walnuts.
And it's okay to add a little sweetener to your plain Greek yogurt. Honey is a great sweetener. You don't need to add more than a half a tablespoon. Once we have it all in there, we're good to go. We got our 1 serving of carbohydrate, we got our full serving of protein, and our serving of fat. So that breakfast was put together in less than 2 minutes.
Now for my first snack of the day, I want to keep it sweet. I'm going to have what we call protein oatmeal. Now with protein oatmeal, we'll do 3/4 cup of oats. We'll add to that a scoop of chocolate or vanilla protein. Then we'll go ahead and put in there up to 1 full cup of almond milk. Now this all depends on the consistency that you like. I'm gonna put in about 3/4 of a cup. Now make sure your almond milk is unsweetened. We don't wanna get the almond milks that don't say unsweetened because those can have up to 14, 15 grams of sugar in a single serving. Okay, to finish up my protein oatmeal, I'm going to add just a little dash of stevia. Now remember, you don't need much stevia. It's much, much sweeter than regular table sugar. And in addition to that, I'm gonna add some cinnamon. Just a couple little sprinkles, depends on how much you like. You can't really overdo the cinnamon because it doesn't have any sugar or calories to it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna mix it together and this will be ready to go by my first snack of the day. Now one final thing about your protein oatmeal. Well, notice it has its protein and its carbohydrate in there. There's no fat. Remember, when you're on high carb days, you cut the fat out from your 2nd through your 5th meal.
Now I'm looking at my menu here and I want to have a turkey veggie medley. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that macro mix and match that we talked about earlier, and I'm going to have my chicken veggie medley. So I measured out here 4 ounces of chicken, Now, I want to go ahead and replace the corn and peas in here with our high protein power grain quinoa. This also has a good amount of fiber and quality carbohydrates. So right here, I'm going to put in just about a half a cup and then add to that mixture. Remember, we have our brown rice. So I'm going to do about a quarter cup of brown rice here. Now, because we took out the peas and corn, I'm going to replace those with a much lower starch vegetable. Now with these, I'm going to use some broccoli. I'm going to pack as much broccoli as I can fit in here. You can be as liberal as you'd like with your vegetables. And with your seasoning, you can go ahead and add as much Mrs. Dash as you'd like. Go ahead and flavor it up. And finally, I'm going to add a good squeeze of lemon to give it that tang. Our third meal is all ready to rock and roll.
Now for our fourth meal, our second snack of the day, I'm in a hurry. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I gotta get something quick. So what I'm gonna do is have a quick protein shake with an apple. It's that simple. 1 cup of almond milk with 1 scoop of protein and an apple. Now for our final meal of our high carb day, I'm gonna have some turkey tostadas. You'll see on the menu they're called chicken tostadas, but I'm gonna do that macro mix and match and I'm gonna throw some turkey in there in place of the chicken. Now to make these turkey tostadas, I'm going to use my pre-measured 4 ounces of turkey. I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of black beans for one of my carbohydrates. Now next I'm going to add to that our pepper onion mix. Now in addition to that, I'm going to add my 2 to 3 tablespoons of salsa. This does replace any sodium or flavoring that I'm going to put in here. Now that's all that I want to put in the actual container. And I'm going to go ahead and chop up my lettuce on the side. I like just to tear the lettuce up. No need to chop it up, and I'll put it in a little baggie right on top of this container in the fridge, so when I come home, everything is ready to go. If you like, you can chop up some tomatoes, you can put some extra vegetables in there. I'm also going to put my corn tortilla off to the side, so it's all ready right when it's time to eat. So to recap my high carb day, I have my berry mix with my Greek yogurt and my nuts. Don't forget, you do need to have fat for that first meal of a high carb day. For my second meal, I had my protein oatmeal, no fat added. I had my chicken veggie medley with broccoli, brown rice, quinoa.
And for the afternoon snack, I have a protein shake with an apple. Now finally, for my fifth meal, I had my turkey tostada. Remember, I placed that chicken with the turkey as my macro mix and match. Now that you took the time to prepare all your bulk items, it was just a matter of a few minutes to put together the next 2 days.
Okay, our bulk prep is done for the week. We've also done our first 2 days of maintenance preparation. Now we're going to have some leftover macronutrients. We're going to have some chicken, turkey, and our brown rice and our quinoa. In addition to that, we're going to have our broccoli. Remember earlier we talked about having 2 large bins, 4 medium-sized bins, and 6 small? Well, you can see the reason why we needed our 6 small bins to prepare us for the next 2 days. Now for these 4 medium-sized, one of them will be for a grain like a quinoa. One of them will be for brown rice. And for the other 2 medium-sized, we're going to put our remaining chicken in there and our remaining turkey in the other. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and seal these up and store them for ultimate success. Let's say it's the morning of our low carb day. What we do is we grab our cooler. It'd be great if it was insulated. It's going to keep everything a lot cooler. And a couple freezer packs. Take all of our low carb meals and we are good to go for the day. Okay, we're done. We've bulk prepped our items for the week. We've done maintenance preparation for the next couple days. And you are ready to succeed. Can you see yourself winning now? Think about it. You've got your entire day right here in front of you walking out the door. Until next time, I'm Richard Morris, signing off.